Alrighty, welcome back to the Brew Crew Chronicles, pumping out another episode. Your favourite degenerate duo are here again. It's been a minute.
Well, it has for you. So it's been about 2 weeks because I've been gallivanting around doing a couple of featured episodes. So Jess has had a break. I have a delicious goodie here for you today. So Carbon 6, it's a peach and mango oat cream. So first of all, ticks Jessie's big box of a decent ABV. She's punching 7.2%.
7.2.
Juicy, creamy, fearlessly tropical.
Look forward to it.
So we'll give her a crack. Ooh. So what have you been doing the last 2 weeks, mate? Oh, come on. Do it fucking properly, Shari.
Mate, I have been brewing up a storm. And probably since we shot an episode, I've probably done the best part of 5 beers, I'd say. Majority of them are somewhat cheaterish. Dad and I have down a couple of new recipe packs we're trying out for some clones of a Bolter Captain Sensible and one of the Larrys. I've laid down one of the NBC new fresh word kits. I have done...
Which was the Nipa?
Pacific.
I did the Pacific, didn't I?
Oh, no, yeah, you are right, sorry.
He caked it because I wasn't here.
A red IPA and just a boxed off wheat beer.
Yeah.
So we've got a fair few testers here at our old Crafted Taste HQ at the moment.
And I guess one of the reasons why we're cracking these is most of the beers on the kegerators are all super fresh. So we did have a little bit of a lick of them. They're not quite ready.
All a bit green. 2 of them are still in fermenters, I might add. And then I didn't manage to pump out quite that many beers. But yeah. Quite light on the eyes, this one.
Yeah. Cheers to you,
Cheers.
big dog.
Mmm.
I haven't had a beer with peach in it yet. Like I've had a few like seltzers or actually really seltzer's probably the only thing, but no beers with peach.
That is quite tasty. I think that peach is quite prominent. And it's hard for me to ascertain it because I don't really know if I've had another beer that's quite like that on the nose.
All right. So this is what I'm talking about. I know how I've been saying to you, a lot of the other commercial oat creams that we try just don't hit that like creamy, little bit sweet. It's not sweet.
No.
But you can see what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
That my first ever oat cream, which was Slipstream's oat cream, this hits it. Like all the rest I find, I don't know, maybe the others are more dry.
It is soft without being sweet. So it's not like there's like an immense amount of lactose in there. It's more of that sort of pillowiness like you sort of get from the oats.
Yeah, like I'm rubbing my tongue like.
Yeah. But it's not terribly viscous. It's more of like a mouthfeel. As you can see, yeah, well, comparatively to eat mine, some of mine you have to eat with a knife and fork, so.
At least a spoon.
Yeah, no, delicious though. It does have something on the nose that I'm trying to ascertain what it is. It might be the peach.
I don't know, but it's subtle. Like sometimes I think peach is like a really hard flavor to nail.
In beer. Yeah.
Well, just in anything, like you think about artificial peach flavors that you get in so many things. But it's not like punch it in the jaw.
No,
like
and it drinks super well for what, a 7.2 or something, did you say that was?
Yeah. All right, so that's got 2 thumbs up from me. What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very drinkable. And again, we did try a couple of Ethers beers on the weekend. Mm-hmm. Went around seeing Dad.
A couple. I think we went through probably 8, didn't we?
Yeah, we did have a If you have a look at the other socials, actually, you'll see a little photo montage of all the cans that we tried.
We had a great time.
There was an oat cream in there, wasn't there?
There was, but it was an oat cream hazy.
Yes.
Hazy pale, I should say.
And it was quite light.
Which I think that's what I liked about that. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting George in my featured episode with NBC.
Yep.
So George is the head brewer for Ether. Wealth of freaking knowledge.
Yep.
Like, it was just gnarly being able to talk.
You guys got a video together, though?
Yeah. So he featured in our NBC podcast. He seems to be really interested in brewing outside of style.
Yep.
And this is something we've spoken about, like how important is it to brew to style? And since meeting George, seeing the beers that Ether does, I'm kind of on the like, fuck the styles.
Yeah. Now,
Because-
I sort of follow along the same ideology. Now, some things I'm an absolute stickler for. Others, I'm really, really for sort of chasing down new and creative ideas. This, after having tried this and after having tried ethers, it's sort of given me a little bit of a different perspective on oat creams. Because
Yeah.
I've always, one, brewing my own, two, I'm obviously a huge fan of range.
Yeah, but super hop forward.
Yeah,
Like,
so
these aren't.
ranges are punchy. They're high in ABV. They're super on the nose when it comes to hops. Super on the tongue too. A lot more velvety and also a lot more viscous.
Yeah.
Now, that's the style that I've become accustomed to and still one of my absolute favorites. But after having tried both this and ethers, it would be something, that I would like to try and replicate, because this is a lot more sessionable for me, palatable wise, because obviously majority of the beers I have at home are absolute monsters, and it would be nice to at least start. And now I know 7.2 to most people isn't sessionable,
That's
but-
not sessionable to me.
but it certainly is comparatively to a lot of the beers that I drink, and I really quite enjoy them.
And I think that's really important to note. Jace hadn't had an oat cream IPA or anything in that range, and he drank the ether beer, and he's like, out of all we tried, now Jess and I do have a couple stored away for other episodes which we didn't try that day, but he was like, out of all of them, I think this was my favorite. And that was, I guess, I kind of opened my eyes of, that's a great stepping stone to get people who would turn their nose up at something like Rangers. Now, that's not to say that Rangers is bad,
They're not.
but that typically wouldn't go for something so hop forward
Yep.
in that IPA, super pungent. George has done a wonderful job of bringing forward the characteristics that we love in oat creams, but also that we love in pale ales.
And that's the thing. And this is another reason which has sort of changed my ideology on brewing to style, because it's things like that, and it's things like the Schwartz beer and the dark lager that brings people into dark beers that you otherwise wouldn't have. And like you said, Ether's one with their oat cream pale ale is really a step into something that you wouldn't otherwise try, because they are quite, if you've not heard of them before and you haven't had them, they are quite eclectic. You think about how long I've been banging on about oat creams, both you and I, and it was the first time our father's gone ahead and tried one. So
yeah, I absolutely love it. I would love for you to try and do something similar and see what you can achieve. I might be speaking out of school, but I don't reckon that has any crush in it either, bro.
No, I don't believe so either.
So on that, I have actually brought along with me the Black XPA.
Yep, which is
From
another one
Ether.
of Ethers. Yep.
So if you want to go grab that, I'll do a little bit of spiel. So this one, when I first saw it, I was like, are you kidding? It was the black lagers that really kind of made me go like, wow, I like dark beers. This one breaks all of the expectations. I think it is the perfect mix of you can pull this one, so I made a mess of the last one. Perfect mix of delving your tippy toes into dark malts, but something that is still light, sessionable, hop forward.
Absolutely. And it sort of breaks all of the rules too. When you think about, again, brewing the style, a black XPA, it sort of goes against everything that XPA is really, because XPA stands for extra pale ale. So normally they are really light coloured, almost lagerish. And some of them quite hoppy, but it's sort of dependent. But again, this beer we've already had a lick of.
I think this is my fourth one.
Another sensational beer that again isn't inherently brewed to any sort of style method.
No, and that's the thing.
Although it does drink quite light. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers to you, mate.
Now, do you sort of want to would you sort of like to explain what you're tasting there?
Yeah, so I think like the first time I had it, I'd actually not long finished their oated black IPA.
Oh, yep.
So black beer following another black beer. The malt, I guess, wasn't as prominent. Having Carbon 6's oat cream, the malt is definitely a lot more prominent for me now. Which would you agree? While still mild.
Yes. Now, it is mild comparatively if you're speaking on dark beers. But again, I would sort of agree with you. That sort of darker, slightly roasted.
But so mild.
Yeah.
Like, it's the perfect amount. Anyway, so the reason I've actually brought this one in, because this was the one Jesse and I have banged on about, like Schwartz beer, dark lager, black lager for months now. So once Jesse's, well, the two that are sitting currently in the fermenters are done, I'll be putting down my black lager. Obviously, my focus is extract because you are doing an all grain.
Yep.
And so that's how we kind of work together. I want to do the extract for the guys who don't want to yet delve into something like that. You want to go gung-ho. Having this guy made me go, do I want to go the black lager? Or do I just want to be like, fuck the system, essentially, and go something like this? Because, like, have you ever had something like this? My problem was is it too much fuck the system?
And that's the thing. I would have to drink a couple more of these and really sort of digress to have a sense of understanding as to everything that's going on. Reason being why is, especially if you're brewing it as an ale, you don't get the lighter characteristics that I feel you do with the lagers. Now, it's quite a complex beer, but without being too much.
And I definitely think, like, it's not as subtle as something like the Noosa Heads.
No, this one's definitely got a little bit more flavour to it.
But in saying that, that was a rice lager.
Yep.
So I'm still in two minds. I think that for, like, obviously all of our beers that we brew come on tap at Crafted Taste. And it's about showcasing the guys who are walking in here, what they can make, and trying to hit, I guess, a large demographic who's not going to go out and buy something like this, but explore the wonders that is craft beer. So I still think that I'm leaning towards more of the black lager. Like a lot of you do like your crazy,
Pardon me.
your crazy stuff you are putting on tap at home.
Yeah. It's also a bit too crazy for a lot of people's palates.
Yeah, right. So I'm still leaning towards, doing more the black lager style. I'm definitely going to do the Black Rock Porter, previous Bosch, which is a German lager style.
Yeah.
And then I threw around the idea of potentially using like a Euro hop.
Yeah. We've had a few discussions about this now. The other thing that I really like about the lager is the end product that you get from it. Like I said, that light, crisper sort of flavour. The other thing is too, we've just had the all-in black IPA on tap.
Yep.
So it'd be nice to sort of get a few different styles. And like I said, all of the stuff we had all goes on tap here for customers to try. And it is. Like I've got at the moment ginger beer, red IPA, Pacific, wheat beer, a lager,
Yeah, the
cider,
lager
and I've just put on a mid-strength ale. So yeah, we're absolute plethora of different beers here. And it's nice to hit. And it's nice to try new things too.
Yeah, and I think like this black XPA, black lager style, like, I turned my nose up at pretty much all dark beers. I was really reserved to the fact I don't like it. The first one that got me over the line was Buddy Brewing's Dark Ale.
Which is sensational. I was lucky enough to roll down there with the missus on the weekend and have a lick of it, and it is an absolute cracker of a beer.
And they call it a dark ale. I'd love to talk to Reese to find out what yeast he used, because it does more present like a dark lager than an ale. Would you share those sentiments?
I would be also extremely intrigued because it doesn't drink like a traditional ale, and I'm not sure whether it's like a Euro style ale yeast or, like you said, whether it's lager. I'm not sure if I'd go as far to say that it is a lager, but I would presume that it's sort of teetering on more of the English ale strain.
Yeah, I'd love to know, because it really drinks smack bang in the middle.
Yeah.
To me. And like obviously they do have their red coat, which is be certain that it is more of that English style.
Yep.
But they drink very differently. So that was like the real one that made me go, hey, actually this is all right. And then obviously all the ones that we've delved into. And I think this is the style, especially as home brewers, we can really get, I guess, tunnel vision on what we drink, what we like. And how many people do you have that you're like, oh, hey, do you want to try this IPA? And they're like, oh, no, I don't like IPAs.
Yeah.
And then they try it and it's like, oh, geez, that's actually fucking wicked.
Because that dark ale was one of the first beers that you've tried on Nitro too, wasn't it?
Yeah. So do you want to talk about that?
We certainly can.
So I was really fortunate enough to kind of get exposed to the world of dispensing beers and Nitro. Do you want to top yourself up?
I would love to.
Because I've still got a little bit.
Jazz still has a load. You don't want any of this next one?
No. This one I actually bought all for you. We'll show you in a second. I was exposed to Nitro. Now, I always thought that it was a little bit of a gimmick and I never really understood it until a couple of weeks ago where I tried the Dark World on Nitro. It opened my eyes. If you've got a dark beer, dispensed on Nitro makes it something freaking else. Do you want to highlight what you're drinking? Because I know you love it.
I do. Here we have another one of Ether's beers. We have the Peanut Butter Stout. An absolute outlier for me. Crossed it on the weekend. One of my favourites out of the ones we tried. Although, I can't really quote any bad beers that we had. And we had everything from a seltzer to a sour to darks, XPAs, oh mate, oat creams, the lot. Sensational little brewery they've got there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's little or not, but they're certainly putting out some good work.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Anyway, so basically I tried the Nitro, went, this shits all over CO2 every day of the week. So we have a Nitro, we have sourced. Now, through Jesse, I will give credit where credit's due. You did the hard work. We've sourced a Nitro kit initially because I don't have kegs of beer at home. I like to drink the commercial beer at home. Mm-hmm. I don't drink enough to go through a 19-litre keg.
Oh, you drink plenty. You just don't drink enough beer.
Not at home, at least. So initially I'm a sucker for a cold brew coffee. I was going to do a 9.5 litre keg of cold brew coffee on my kegerator. Mm-hmm. And that was a bit inspired by not only the Dark World or Nitro, but also we've had people purchase the Nitro kits for things like espresso martinis, and I'm a sucker for that too.
Yeah, I'm also a sucker for espresso martinis, I must say. The missus will crack it out, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll have one.
If I must. But Jace has actually just kegged a Dockside Stout that he's brewed. So by the looks of it, we're going to put it on at Jace's house first. I reckon he's going to love it. It is just, it's low carbonation, but so pleasant. It changes that mouthfeel. Like, it's creamy, it's velvety, it's like, there's been lots of people to harp on about it, and I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. You got Nitro, fancy. I was wrong.
It does. It completely changes a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's night and day. I would love to run an experiment where we have a stout that's carbs with just carbonation and then on nitro and have it here in the store because again, you having nitrogen beer now, you can understand the quarrel when people come in and they're like, "Oh, I want a Guinness clone. I want," and it's impossible to do it
Oh,
with carbonation.
100%. And this is where I think it'll be really interesting, especially for Jace, because at the end of the day, in terms of craft taste, he's the big dog. He makes all the decisions. Having not, like, obviously, yeah, he's cracked Guinness, but he's never had it on nitro. Having something like the Dockside Stout under CO2, I had a beer with him today, tried his carbonation level. Like, it was only a taster, but we tried it today. I'm sure we'll get into a couple of skewies over the coming days to then put that on nitro and be able to actually compare. Look, like, I don't want to upsell stuff to people.
No.
But, mate, it was something else.
But stylistically, it's almost a necessity in a lot of facets. Like you said, with like your cold brew coffee,
Yeah.
with things like espresso martinis, with certain styles of stout, it's absolutely paramount to have it because it's so weird. And now that you've had it, you can sort of understand what I'm saying.
I'm a convert.
It doesn't just change the mouthfeel. It sort of changes the beer entirely.
Yeah, even the taste of it.
Even in the way in which you perceive the taste, yeah.
And I think it's that velvety feeling. And, Reese, which is the head brewer of Buddies, kind of said to me, it's good and it's bad because you pour yourself a pint of the Dark World now and it's gone in 3 gulps. Yeah. And I was like, oh, surely not. Mate, I had my skewy and then I was like, well, that went down too easy. Yeah. Better have another.
They just drink entirely. It's not even the same thing, really.
So we're throwing around what we're going to brew. So obviously we're going to do my extract dark lager. Who knows? Jury's still out on how I do that one. But we are looking at doing the NBC cream stout.
Yep.
All in also have a milk stout. So it'll be one of the 2. Yep. And so that'll be really exciting to put on tap because, yeah, I suspect it will be on nitro and it'll be great for people to be able to have a lick of that one.
Yeah, now we are a little bit out of the season at the moment with it, sort of climbing out of winter, but we do have a lot of customers come through here that do enjoy drinking dark beer year round.
This is something that I said to Dad just today when we tried his Dockside, and I said, maybe we're a bit late on bringing the nitro in for this. And he said, I never thought I would drink stouts all year round, but I always have a dark beer on tap now. And the more I delve into these dark malt styles, I'd share that. Like, I don't think that even on a hot summer's day that I would screw my nose up at either one of these.
No, but it also speaks to the ideology of what a stout is. Inherently, stouts used to be big, and especially when you speak about imperial stouts, really big ABV, hearty, really prominent dark notes, coffee, smoky, and again, stylistically, a lot of that's changed. Like Shaz had said, with the NBC, they've got the cream stout, which I'm super looking forward to try. All In has their milk stout, which I have tried before, which is another delicious drop. Like I said, we've got this one here, which is the peanut butter. And again, this one's sort of lighter for a stout, I would say.
Yeah, it was super easy drinking. You've got the peanut flavor. It's almost like a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
You've got that like chocolate, caramel, toffee, peanut. And yes, it's desserty, but not sweet in the way that you wouldn't follow on with their Aussie Pale Ale. Yeah.
Right. So what do you have in the works as it pertains to brews up, apart from the black lager? Because the main reason why I ask is because we have a little event coming up with the Brew Club. We're going over and having like a little integration with one of the other local brew clubs. We're having a Christmas swap over. So we're all going to be brewing a beer to be gifting to the other club and vice versa. Do you have a beer or a style in mind for that one yet? Because I will be doing yet another NEPA.
Yeah, nice. So I really want to stay true to the fact that I want to stick with extract / fresh words.
Yep.
I think this is why you and I work so well together, is I want to appear to the audience and everyone else the starting intermediate part of home brewing.
Yep.
Lots of people stay there, and that's fine. And you appeal to the guys that want to get in, want to know the nitty gritty. So I actually think that I will be doing one of the MBC fresh words.
Are you going to brew it to style, or are you going to have a little play on it?
I think, given that NBC are relatively, I guess they don't have the reach of some of the other fresh words, and it's just because of, I guess, how new they are.
Yep.
And how small they are. I would love to just brew it how it is.
Style, yep.
We have had a little sneaky taster of the Pacific, and
Yep.
I am so thrilled with how that's come out, and we will do a whole nother tasting video on that.
Yeah, she's a touch green at the moment. She's a bit fresh in the keg.
But like aroma, taste, mouthfeel, like it's really hitting what it should.
Yep.
And I just want to highlight them. The other, I did throw around the BIBs because I think that it was a great, like the BIB lager really threw the both of us.
It did. I was super impressed with it. Considering I don't really like lagers, yeah, it was a bit of a curveball. I was sort of in two minds because there was part of me that wanted to dislike it.
But we didn't,
No.
and it just, like, it smashed it.
Yep.
And, you know, our brew club is monopolized by all grain brewers, and that is great. But to be able to highlight, hey, we can still make pretty gnarly extract beer. Like, I know fresh work kits are not extract, and the BIBs are not entirely extract either. But, you know, I think that this is the cornerstone of home brewing, fresh work kits or extract. It is certainly the starting point for so many people.
It's more of a reach to the wider audience. I feel now we don't have a whole lot of all grain brewers through here. We also don't hold a whole lot of all grain stuff, to be honest with you. We do have probably, to the best part of maybe 8 to 9 different either grains or adjuncts now. Obviously, all your yeast and hops and everything is what it is, no matter whether you're doing all grain or extract. I know that there are a lot of larger sort of businesses out there that really focus in on the all grain. Ours not so much. But I think, like you said, widely, whether you're starting off, whether you're a beginner or whether you're in the intermediate stage, really, you're always going to be around the extract or the fresh work kit sort of stuff. It's only really when you sort of step outside of that and it really becomes hobby-esque to like almost a weird level. Like speaking for myself, like I start getting into all of like the chemistry behind different hops and what's inside of them. One of the members that comes into here, it's also one of our customers, exposed me to there's 2 different types of enzymes inside hops. One which is responsible for the display of citrus notes, and the other for more of your fruity notes. Something that I wasn't even aware of.
No, mate, news to me.
I'll give you a look at it later. But he's an extreme wealth of knowledge. Simon it is.
Yeah.
And just me learning about stuff like that really gets me going. Like, it's the stuff that I really enjoy. But I also understand that a lot of people don't find that interesting.
Yeah, and I just want to, you know, sometimes our industry can be a little bit cliquey, and, you know, and that is fine. But I also want to welcome and make sure the people who are just doing extract, just doing fresh words, knows that there's a place for them here.
Yeah.
we don't have to be like this bloke. I was going to say something else.
I know you were, and I was saying if you're going to fire it.
But yeah, like that. So that's my thinking.
Yeah.
Have you picked yours for that Christmas?
Mine will be a meat bar. I've spoke to a couple of the boys, and they've sort of established their styles. And obviously, we want to get quite an array of different styles. So I'm sure as anything, it will be brought up at the next brew meeting, which is in the next week or two, I believe. But yeah, but a sensible NEPA. This one,
Yeah, good on ya.
This one will be like a 6 to 7 sort of, just a really nice, and it'll be an amalgamation of all the sort of work that I've been doing up until this point.
All right, that's me empty, which means top up is due. Thank you for today. It's
No
been
stress
nice
at all.
catching up
It
again
has been.
for a potty.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Until next week, guys.
Cheers.